News from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our
Thank you for tuning in to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. My name is Melissa, and I'm here with Meredith. We invite you to listen to our broadcast both live and on demand. Our live sessions are available on the Blind Community Thrift Store YouTube channel, Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. each week. Additionally, you can access on-demand content through the Audio Reader Network, which offers a wide range of audio materials for the visually impaired community. To explore content from the Audio Reader Network, please visit www.reader.ku.edu. The site provides details about accessing content via Amazon Alexa, Audio Reader Network mobile app, and information on receiving a radio to listen to the broadcast by KSMU Radio. All broadcasts are played over KMSU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 gigahertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio.
Springfield City Clerk Hotel of Terror petition insufficient. In a letter to Hotel of Terror owner Sterling Mathis, released January 29th, Springfield City Clerk Anita Cotter said a petition to repeat an intimate domain of ordinance passed by City Council December 15th was insufficient. The ordinance would not allow the city to use eminent domain proceedings to demolish Hotel of Terror, a downtown Halloween seasonal attraction active since the 1970s. Cotter wrote that for the petition to trigger a citywide referendum on the rezoning of the Hotel of Terror property at 334 North Main Avenue, petitioners needed to collect 1,499 signatures, or 10% of the city's qualified voters who participated in the most recent election. Cotter wrote that she and her office were able to verify 1,374 signatures out of a rough total of 2,407 signatures submitted by Mathis on January 9th. In her letter released January 29th, Cotter also notified Mathis that Section 14.5 of the city charter provides for petitioners to amend their petition within 10 days after the notification of insufficiency. The process allows Mathis and his supporters to file a supplementary petition no later than 5 p.m. on February 9th. Mathis told Springfield Business Journal in a phone interview this afternoon that he intends to move forward in seeking additional signatures. I'm going to get the rest of them, and we're going to move forward with this, he said, declining to further comment. The city's goal in removing the Hotel of Terror building is to replace the nearby Main Avenue Bridge, according to past SBJ reporting. The bridge has been rated poor by the Missouri Department of Transportation and is closed to heavy traffic like city buses and emergency vehicles. Hotel Terror owners Sterling and Melissa Mathis had 30 days to require the 1,499 signatures to get the item on an upcoming city ballot, according to past SBJ reporting. That number is based on turnout from the single issue April 2025 election, which had a 7% voter turnout. This is the second time Mathis filed petitions seeking a referendum to repeal city council action. The first time was in March 2023, when he submitted 2,100 signatures but fell short of the 1,565 verified signatures he needed. On April 10, 2023, he submitted an admitted petition that was deemed sufficient for a referendum. A month later, Council voted to repeal its declaration of eminent domain. This is a developing story. Springfield Business Journal plans to update it with more information. Ozark District hires Stratford leader for a refilled athletic director position. The Ozark School District Board of Education recently voted to hire Ashley Bowe as director of athletics and activities. The position, heavily focused on high school in the past, was restructured in late 2025 to oversee athletics and related activities across the district. Bowe will report to the superintendent instead of the high school principal. The job will start July 1st. Bowe will succeed Yancey Little, who's retiring after 25 years of service as a coach and administrator. As an educator, coach, and parent, I deeply value the role athletics and activities play in developing character, leadership, and a strong sense of community, Bowe said in a news release. Bowe was a coach and a physical education teacher in the Lebanon R3 school district from 2007 to 2011 before joining the Stratford R4 school district. In Stratford, she had been the elementary principal since 2022. She previously served as assistant principal and spent 13 years as the varsity volleyball coach, leading the Lady Indians to her Missouri State runner-up finish to her timelines, including back-to-back trips in 2021 and 2022. Ozarks' strong tradition of involvement and supporting is evident, Bo said in the release. I'm eager to build that monument by working alongside the students, coaches, sponsors, and families to create well-rounded, dynamic programs that challenge, connect, and empower students on the field, on the stage, and throughout the community. Ozarks Superintendent Lori Wilson noted Bow's experience in serving students on and off the field. Ashley Bow has proven herself as a respected educator, coach, and administrator in Southwest Missouri with a passion for serving young adults, Wilson said in the release. We are thrilled to have her and her family as Ozark Tigers and see her vision for athletics and activities. This district was not finalized in the salary, but the range for a director with a doctorate, which Bo had, and a $108,061 to $154,605 officials say. Little coached multiple sports at Ozark High School, including softball and girls basketball. His softball teams earned Final Four and state runner-up finishes, and his girls basketball teams captured back-to-back state championships in 2005 and 2006. He was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in 2023.
Snow cold gives Wonders of Wildlife penguins opportunity for adventure. There's a video here with little penguins in the snow. Freezing temperatures and several inches of snow has kept most Springfieldians indoors. But on Tuesday, January 27th, it proved to be the perfect day for penguins from the local aquarium to leave their exhibit and take on an outdoor adventure. 17 Gene 2 penguins enjoyed the sunshine on their slick coats and the snow under their webbed feet outside of their home at the Wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium on Tuesday. Reese, senior among the wattle at 32 years old, returned back to the exhibit where temperatures were a few degrees warmer after an hour or two of enjoying the winter weather. Mike Daniel, director of animal care for Johnny Morris Conservation Foundation, said the outdoor experience is a way to offer the animals more choices in their daily lives. This is their day to choose and do anything they want to do in a completely novel space, he said. So that challenges them to think and to be aware in different ways than they are in their exhibit. But it ties into our goal for offering constant enrichment that really challenges the animals to use their widest range of natural behaviors. Each Gen 2 penguin did make their own choice in how they wanted to spend their day in the great outdoors. Some took a nap in the fluffy snow, others fanned their wings in the sunshine, and one particular penguin, Beth, decided to forge her own path and waddle around the yard away from the rest of the group. She's out there in the snow. It's a picture of her. In order for the penguins to be brought outside, Daniel said weather conditions have to strike the right balance. He said there need to be at least 3 inches of snow and temperatures have to hold in the teens or single digits for a few days to ensure the ground freezes and doesn't leave a mushy consistency that can expose the birds to parasites. With it being in the low 30s, it's actually pretty similar to a summer day on the Antarctic Peninsula where these birds would be found, Daniel said. So this is their beach day. They're having a ball. The aquarium offers visitors an up-close experience to witness a feeding of the birds and learn more about the penguins' natural behaviors and biology. Daniel said Wonders of Wildlife will also welcome back mermaids in March and bring new technology and interactive activities to its jellyfish exhibit in the upcoming months. March Meets covers local government at the News-Leader. Have feedback, tips, or story ideas? Contact her at mmieze@newsleader.com.
Target sets opening date for West Side Springfield store. Springfield's second Target store is slated to open just in time for spring. The West Side Target store at 3444 West Sunshine Street is scheduled to debut on March 15th, a Sunday, according to a news release. The 148,000 square foot store is expected to employ around 180 people. The new Springfield store is a part of Target's pledge to build more than 300 new locations over the next decade, officials say. Our continued commitment to opening new stores is really about showing up for our guests and our communities, and it starts with our incredible store team members, Target Chief Store Officer Adrian Constanzo said in the release. These new stores gave our teams the tools and environmentals to bring our merchandising strengths to life, create easier and more inspiring shopping experiences, and to use technology to move smarter and faster every day. It's how we keep growing thoughtfully, stay connected to our communities, and make Target an even better place to shop. Located at the corner of Sunshine Street and West Bypass, the new Target is a part of the Sunshine Town Center development. Olive Garden, Wendy's, and Blue Current Credit Union are among other businesses that have put down roots in Sunshine Town Center. St. Louis-based SM Wilson and Company is general contractor for the store, designed by Benchmark Group, Inc., according to Post reporting. Officials previously declined to disclose project costs. Brown Derby opening temporary location at Frisco Building. While work gets underway on a remodel of its flagship location, Brown Derby is opening a temporary deli and marketplace at the Frisco Building in Northeast Springfield. The Brown Derby Deli and Marketplace concept is scheduled to launch starting January 30th at the Frisco location located at Chestnut Expressway and U.S. Highway 60, according to a company Facebook post. Officials said in the post that the Frisco location would be the company's temporary home while Glenstone undergoes renovation. In December, Brown Derby Wine Center, 2023 South Glenstone Avenue, announced it would get a remodel that includes the addition of a store from Harrison, Arkansas, based Nature's Wonders. The wine center is temporarily closed during the work, with the grand opening expected by late spring or early summer, according to a past reporting. At the Frisco Building, deli items and a wine kiosk are planned, as well as household and consumer products. Brown Derby officials cannot be reached for a comment by a deadline on the temporary concept. Christina Engel, President and Chief Financial Officer for Erling Group, which owns the Frisco building, said Brown Derby is occupying the cafe space on the first floor. They're a well-known local business with a loyal following, and their presence brings additional energy and foot traffic, Engel said via email. Activating space with established local retailers is always a win for the building and for the surrounding area.
Dwindling uses of 24/7 Chestnut kiosk draws library board's attention. No plans have yet been made about continued operations of the kiosk, but a decision about their future looms. This is by Joe Hadsdale. 2 automatic kiosks that enable 24/7 use of library materials may be considered for closure in the future. The Springfield Greene County Library District's Board of Trustees heard an update about the uses of Library Express East and West during its regular meeting on January 20th. Executive Director Ed Walton told board members that dwindling uses of the kiosk increases the relative cost for operation. The library's administrative team has been discussing that usage, he said, and is considering options for them. The discussion occurred during the portion of the meeting dedicated to circulation statistics and started from a question asked about a board member. The board has no current plans to alter or cease kiosk operations. I gave them an honest answer, Walton said, about answering the board members' questioning during the meeting. They're not very cost beneficial. At some point, we're going to have to make a decision about whether we keep them around, and the answer is probably no, based on our current knowledge of what it costs to run those, and the benefit that they provide to the community. There's a gentleman at the kiosk machine with a pamphlet and books. Library Express East and West are automatic kiosks that hold about 340 books and other materials. Working much like a vending machine, the kiosk allows library users to check out items by scanning their library card and punching in an item number. In response, a conveyor belt dispenses that item. The kiosks also store materials that have been checked in. Users can also request materials to be delivered to their either kiosk for pickup. Currently, 1 staff member is dedicated to servicing both kiosks on a rotating schedule. Each kiosk is restocked once every 2 days. Manufactured by Envisionware, they were opened as a way to increase the number of locations without opening new buildings. The kiosk gave the library's Springfield footprint more reach to the eastern and western parts of the city. Library Express West, located at 3872 West Chestnut Expressway, was built in 2019. It's located near a Springfield City Utilities bus stop and Max and Una Lily Park, as well as several residential neighborhoods. Library Express East, located at 3263 East Chestnut Expressway, was built in 2022. Located outside the Frisco building, it is surrounded by an interchange with U.S. Highway 65 and commercial businesses. Both were funded with grants from the Friends of the Library, with supplemental funding provided by the state of Missouri. West cost $239,865 to install, and East cost $173,202 to install. West was the first such kiosk in Missouri to be built, according to previous reportings from the Springfield Business Journal. It was built in response to surveys that requested a new branch in a part of the city. When the East location opened in 2022, the Missouri State Librarian Robin Westfall made the trip to Springfield, describing the kiosk as one of a kind in Missouri and a fantastic gem for the community, according to Springfield News-Leader reporting. But use of both locations had dwindled, especially West, according to monthly comparison stats presented to board members. In December, only 121 items were checked out compared to 339 in December of 2024. Between July 2024 and June 2025, 3,221 items were checked out from East and 4,294 from West. The kiosk represents the smallest fraction of the library's circulation. Patrons checked out 2,716,011 items that same year from all of the library's branches combined. That means the average cost of handling a single item becomes more expensive for the library. During the meeting, Walton said, with each current usage, it costs about $25 per item. Plans for the kiosk could involve partnering with existing businesses, such as grocery stores. Walton said during the meeting, an existing example is a book stop at the Price Cutter at 3260 East Battlefield Road. Dismantling them will also carry price tags for demolition and relocation of the kiosk. If the kiosk were closed, that employee would be reassigned to another position in the library, Walton said during the meeting. As for whether the kiosks affect future building plans, Walton said it's too early to say. The library plans to study its entire network of branches as part of its 5-year strategic plan. Walton said the library is developing a facility master plan and has hired a contractor to assist with that process. One of the elements of that master plan is to assess our current facilities and what their maintenance needs are and bring up any deficiencies, Walton said. The second part is to do an analysis of where we should plan for future facilities. As part of the master plan, we'll be developing an idea of where we ought to build new facilities in the future. It's by Joe Halsdale. He is the educated reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen. Halsdale has more than 2 decades of experience reporting in the Ozarks with the Joplin Globe, Christian County Headliner News, and 417 Magazine. Contact him at 417-837-3671 or jhasdale at sgfcitizen.org. More by Joe Hasdale.
JVIC Director Alan Kunkel to retire after 19 years at MSU. As a leader at Missouri State University, Alan Kunkel has transformed and advanced key initiatives in downtown Springfield. He will retire from the university on June 30th. Kunkel has been Associate Vice President for Economic Development since 2007 and Director for the Jordan Valley Innovation Center since 2010. He has played roles to expanding JVIC, advancing idea communions, and growing the e-factory, officials say. It has been an honor and privilege to work for Missouri State, and I'm fortunate to have been able to work for and with so many wonderful people, Kunkel said in a news release. I've been blessed with a tremendous staff team who are extremely capable to take JVIC, e-factory, and Idea Commons to lead the next level. There are so many opportunities, and I'll enjoy watching their continued success. Reached by phone, Kunkel said he had been contemplating retirement in recent years, but wanted to complete key projects first. It's the time for me to step away and see what else is out there, he said. Kunkel previously worked for the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce and the Missouri Department of Economic Development. His salary for the 24-25 academic year, the most recent available, was $156,818, according to MSU records. The university credited Kunkel for expanding JVIC by building relationships with corporate partners and tenants that conduct research and bring new technologies to the market. JVIC was selected in 2022 as one of only 3 locations nationwide to house a NextFlex node as part of America's Flexible Hybrid Electronics Manufacturing Institute. Kunkel also supported the vision of Idea Commons, an urban innovation park in downtown Springfield where people can live, shop, learn, create, and work. He was also instrumental in establishing and expanding the E-Factory, the university's entrepreneurship and small business outreach center. Kunkel will also oversaw the establishment of the university's composite brander facility. This is a specialized advanced manufacturing center for developing large-scale components, especially for hypersonic vehicles, founded by the U.S. Air Force. Brad Bodenhausen, Vice President for Community and Global Partnerships at MSU, said Kunkel's leadership has impacted the university and community. He is an outstanding economic developer, someone who has the experience, skills to take a vision and make it reality. That's what he's done here in Springfield Center City, Bodenhausen said in the release. For almost 20 years, he has devoted his energies to implementing the university's vision for JVIC, eFactory, and Idea Commons. As a result, we now have excellent facilities and a talented team working with businesses and community partners to support innovation and re-advanced manufacturing. The university has not decided it will replace Kunkel or retool the position, according to an MSU spokesperson. Kunkel has served in other leadership roles, including MSU's liaison to the Springfield Innovation Inc. Board, which provides advisory oversight for JVIC and the eFactory. Board member of the Missouri Biotechnology Association, Downtown Springfield Community Improvement District, and the Southwest Missouri Council of Governments. Appointment by Governor Mike Kehoe to the Missouri Technology Corporation Board. Part of the International Economic Development Council, the Heartland Economic Development Course Board, and the Missouri Economic Development Council. Lawsuit takes issue with O'Reilly Automotive's tobacco policy. Last edited 2:16 p.m., January 28, 2026. Editor's note, a statement from O'Reilly Automotive has been added. A lawsuit filed this month in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Missouri alleges violations of the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974 through Springfield-based O'Reilly Automotive, Inc.'s NASDAQ O'Reilly tobacco policy. The purposed class action lawsuit was filed January 23rd by John Hatfield, an Arizona resident who was employed by O'Reilly Automotive. In the suit, Hatfield alleges O'Reilly Automotive unlawfully implemented a 10% tobacco surcharge on health insurance premiums without offering a legally complement reasonable alternative standard to avoid it. An O'Reilly Automotive spokesperson provided a statement on behalf of the company. O'Reilly Auto Parts does not charge tobacco users more for health insurance. It offers a discount to team members who complete a free annual wellness appointment with their health care provider and additional discount to those who are tobacco-free. In addition, team members call to discuss an alternative way to qualify for the discount. The statement reads, each year during open enrollment, all team members are advised not only of the benefits but also the discounts available. The lawsuit further states tobacco surcharges have become more prevalent in recent years, but to be lawful, plans must make available a complement wellness program that provides employees with an avenue to avoid the surcharge. The plan does not clearly or consistently establish a reasonable alternative standard that informs participants of all available avenues to avoid the surcharge. The tobacco policy additionally requires all members of the employee's household to be tobacco-free. The lawsuit alleges nothing that this requirement conditions employees' premium payments on another person's health status. According to the lawsuit, Hatfield paid approximately $780 annually for the tobacco surcharge. In the 4-count lawsuit, Hatfield seeks repayment of tobacco surcharges he already paid to stop O'Reilly Automotive from continuing the alleged practice and to bring the wellness plan into compliance. Separately, O'Reilly Automotive was sued this month by a former employee who alleged misuse of 401k forfeitures, according to past Springfield Business Journal reporting.
There's an easy fix for tampering if NCAA has guts to make it happen. Want to end tampering? Hit coaches where it hurts most and suspend them. It's by Matt Hayes. The old joke in SEC coaching circles goes something like this. Jeremy Pruitt got caught cheating at Tennessee because he had more than one bag man. Now it looks like Pete Golden could be staring at a visit from the NCAA, whatever that means / is worth, because he didn't use any go-between. He is allegedly doing the dirty work himself. Multiple coaches have now accused Golden of tampering with signed players, a move that's against NCAA rules, even though the coaching community isn't sure if it will ever be enforced. Tampering is a level 2 violation, which typically means it's treated as a breach of coaching conduct. In other words, you're on double secret probation, and if you do it again, we're going to be really mad because we're the NCAA and you're not. Which is to say, it has no teeth, at least not yet. Some in the coaching community want tampering changed to a level 1 violation and have specific sanctions and fines for each event. A lost scholarship, or more damning, a coach suspension for each event. In other words, if what Clemson and Fresno State coaches allege is true and Golden tampering with signed players, he'd have to serve a 2-game suspension in the upcoming season. He'd serve 1 game for allegedly sending texts to former Clemson and now Ole Miss linebacker Luke Farrelly, and another game for alleged illegal contact with Fresno State wide receiver Josiah Freeman. Or the NCAA could go even stronger, all but daring coaches to tamper with other rosters. The first violation is 10% of the season, 1 game. The second violation is 50% of the season, 6 games. And the third violation is a season-long suspension. If the goal is to truly eliminate this nonsense, there must be teeth to rule. No more soft playing it. No more declarations of investigations only to find out months or years down the road the coach was given 1 year of probation and wasn't allowed to contact recruits for the first 2 days of the transfer portal opening, or some other do-nothing sanctions. Want to make more coaches think twice about tampering? Hit them where it hurts most. Take away their ability to coach games. Matt Hayes is a senior national college football writer for USA Today Sports Network. Follow him on X at Matt Hayes CFB.
New ownership takes helm of Queen City manufacturer. After nearly 20 years of employment in the banking industry, Christy Chastain embarked on a professional shift last year. She and her husband now own a 28-year-old manufacturing business. Christy and Brian Chastain officially closed September 2nd on the deal to buy Advanced Metal Fabricators, Inc. from Jason O'Neill, the original owner of the company, which opened in 1998. She declined to disclose the purchase price of terms of the couple's lease for the company's 1,500 square foot building at 1050 East Lynn Street that O'Neill continues to own. I love manufacturing. That was my favorite type of lending when I did commercial loans, Christy Chastain said, noting her banking career, including work at Commerce Bank, Metropolitan National Bank, Guarantee Bank, and the Bank of Missouri. I think most bankers secretly are curious about owning a business, and I certainly was. I don't know that I necessarily faced it, but in the last 2 or 3 years, my husband and I got really serious about doing it. While the couple came on board with the company in April, Chastain said O'Neill couldn't close on the transaction for several months due to tax reasons. At Advanced Metal Fabricators, Chastain is Chief Financial Officer while her husband is President. It's been a good process. It's been fun, Chastain said, of becoming owners of the company that specializes in fabrication of sheet metal for residential and commercial customers. Several of my friends have asked me if this was the right decision. I'm like, absolutely. I loved banking. I learned a lot from it and enjoyed it. But this is totally different, and I love it. I absolutely love having the ability to affect your job, your company, and it's such a great responsibility, she added. Chastain said metal products manufactured at the Queen City Company include fascia, guttering, roofing panels, and soffit. Most of its clients are within a 500-mile radius of Springfield. Anything that's metal on the outside of a building, we can build, she said, adding Advanced Metal Fabricators also make specialty products for inside homes such as railing and custom chimney caps. With much of her banking career focused on commercial lending, Chastain said she was familiar with helping companies such as manufacturers with loans. While she didn't have manufacturing in her employment background, Brian had 8 years of experience as a project manager at Central States Industrial Equipment and Service, Inc. The couple recently hired their first new employee since becoming owners, she said, which increased the small staff to 8. Most of the employees' experience at Advanced Metal Educators ranges between 5 and 18 years, she said. Nothing, the longevity and skill level of its staff has been very helpful. For the new owners, Chastain said that they still have lots to learn. There's also process improvements we're working on to help both of us and all of our employees work through everything in a much more efficient and effective manner, she said. It's like eating an elephant. You eat it one bite at a time. The couple recently refreshed the company's offices and are evaluating equipment for future investment, she said. We've also got some software upgrades we need to look at, she said. We can improve upon what's here and make life easier, not only for employees, but provide better time frames for our clients to receive product.
Springfield Airport adds new nonstop destination with seasonal flights. Springfieldians will soon have another destination to visit via direct flight from Springfield Branson National Airport. The airline announced Tuesday, January 27th, the addition of direct American Airline flights to Phoenix. Beginning May 23rd, American Airlines will add a fifth nonstop route to Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. The flights will be once weekly, only on Saturdays, according to an airport news release. It will be a seasonal service with flights offered from late May through August 1st. Tickets can be purchased at www.aa.com or through American's mobile app. We're eager to welcome travelers from Southwest Missouri on our new service to Phoenix this summer, said Jordan Pack, America's Director of Domestic Network Planning, in the release. As we've steadily grown our flights out of Springfield, travelers have responded positively. This has given us the confidence to add flights to Phoenix that will unlock more access from Springfield to the Southwest and Western U.S. Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport is a major hub for American Airlines, according to the release, offering nonstop service to more than 110 domestic and international destinations. The announcement comes after yet another record-setting year for the Springfield Airport. The airport saw 1.5 million travelers in 2025, up 9% from the previous year. Marta Meets covers local government at the News-Leader. Have feedback, tips, or story ideas? Contact her at mmieze@newsleader.com.
People you need to know. Dr. Matthew Stinson. Stinson nears 25 years in industry amid Jordan Valley Health rebrand. Nearing a quarter century in healthcare and 20 years at Jordan Valley Health, Dr. Matthew Stinson is at the helm of an organization that is closing in on 70,000 patients served annually. He also is leading the healthcare provider amid a new name and brand for the first time since its founding as Jordan Valley Community Health Center. In 2003, Stinson said the name Jordan Valley Health, which went into effect January 7th, better describes the gamut of services it offers, which includes medical, dental, behavioral health, optometry, and pediatric care. The words community and center really didn't communicate anything to anyone, he says, adding the organization does more in healthcare than a traditional community health center. The reason to remove those is because it's just complicated things. Additionally, Stinson says Jordan Valley Health needs to be better at talking about itself and the community. We're trying to find a voice for communicating with the places that we serve, about what we do, he says. The old logo that included trees also was quite similar to the one for the Springfield Greene County Park Board, he says. The new logo depicts a mother bear and her cub. We frequently get the question of, do you guys own Jordan Valley Park? Can we get passes to the park? Stinson says of the previous logo. We decided that we needed a new logo that better represented what we are. Today, as the largest federally qualified health center in the state, Stinson says Jordan Valley Health served 69,800 patients last year in a footprint that's grown into communities throughout southwest Missouri. It provides comprehensive services for underserved people, regardless their ability to pay. Services are available with a sliding scale fee. With a workforce of roughly 800, Stinson says the organization is challenged at times to fill clinical positions, particularly in some of the rural areas it serves. Putting some dollars into rural communities and trying to retain providers such as physicians, dentists, behavioral health is one of the things that we really have to figure out how to do better, he says. An employee of Jordan Valley Health since 2007, Stinson is only the second leader in its history, succeeding Brooks Miller as president and CEO in 2024. He joined the organization as a family physician, and was promoted to medical director in 2010. Prior to his current leadership point, he was vice president of primary and behavioral health services. I probably have more of a bent toward the clinical side of the care that we provide, Stinson says of difference between he and Miller's leadership style. Brooks was a great leader for Jordan Valley and helped to bring us from efficiency to a middle-sized organization. He did that very effectively. While Stinson admits he probably wouldn't have been very good at starting the organization, Jordan Valley's current employee count and volume of patients it serves fits in well, he says. That's probably a role that is better suited for me because we can expand and be creative on the quality side of how we get things done, he says. A resident of Clever, the married father of 11, soon to be 12 children, says he was drawn into healthcare by the desire to do something meaningful and professionally. What drew me into family medicine was the same idea, he says. I felt like, as a family doctor, you can make more of a difference in the lives of people because you have a relationship over time. Expanding Jordan Valley's footprint with more physical locations in the future, although Stinson largely mum on current details beyond saying it has leads for facilities. We know we need to be on the north side of Springfield. We know that there is a hole in our service area in Christian County, he says, noting these county residents must travel for care to either Hollister Springfield. There's a fair number of people there that are in our demographic group that we need to serve.
Local homeless service providers brace for major funding cuts to permanent housing programs. The Trump administration homelessness policy aims to cut support for long-term housing programs by shifting buildings to short-term programs with stricter conditions. Local service providers shared concerns, sought solutions at a Housing First town hall. As homeless service providers across the country grapple with new conditions and cuts to the Department of Housing and Urban Development permanent housing programs, members of the local continuum of care, the Ozarks Alliance to End Homelessness, gave a presentation last week to educate the community about what's happening and the potential impact. The Trump administration homeless policy aims to cut support for long-term housing programs by shifting billions to short-term programs with stricter eligibility, definitions, and conditions. Those potential funding cuts to permanent housing programs would likely impact providers in Greene, Christian, and Webster counties to the tune of more than $1 million a year, according to the information presented Friday, January 23rd. There's a picture here of them at the town hall. A coalition of 20 states filed a lawsuit in November of 2025 against the new conditions and cuts to Housing First, the Department of Housing and Urban Development Permanent Housing Program. On December 23rd of 2025, a federal court issued a preliminary injunction requiring HUD to return to the status quo ahead of a hearing. Though Missouri is not among those states suing the federal government, the Ozarks Alliance to End Homelessness hosted Friday's Housing First Town Hall to educate the community what will likely happen both if the court's injunction remains in place or if the federal government wins the lawsuit. Community Foundation of the Ozarks president and CEO Winter Kine encouraged attendees to focus on solutions rather than arguing about how we got here. If plaintiffs prevail, an injunction remains. If the court's injunction remains in place and funding the first fiscal year 2024 projects is renewed, that funding has already been delayed for several months, said Emily Fessler with Community Partnerships of the Ozarks. Even with renewal, the lapse in funding creates operational strain for housing providers, including delayed rental assistance payments and challenges to maintaining current staffing levels, Fessler said. These gaps will increase the risk of housing instability for the people that are currently being served through these programs. If HUD prevails in court, if HUD wins with current lawsuit, the federal agency will return to implementing the changes promised. Under that framework, communities will compete under new funding tiers, revised priorities, and updated scoring criteria. The scenario introduces additional uncertainty as funding amounts and eligible activities would change significantly from prior years, Fessler told the room full of community leaders and elected officials and service providers. Fessler, along with Bob Atchley, principal planner with the Cities of Springfield's Planning and Development Department, led the presentation, which was held at Community Foundation of the Ozarks in downtown Springfield. Fessler spoke about the impacts not only to service providers and those currently in a HUD-funded permanent housing program, but to the entire community. She spoke about the impact on law enforcement, emergency rooms, and other first responders who will be face-to-face with more unsheltered people on a daily basis. Potentially losing 1 million in permanent housing units would place immediate and intense pressure on our rental market. Demands for rentals would surge overnight while supplies would shrink, driving significant rent increases across all price points, she said. This would not only affect low-income renters, it would also affect middle-income households who would also be priced out. As increasing competition happens for fewer available units in our community, we would see increased housing stability, which would include more evictions, doubling up families, and displacements into neighborhood communities, Fessler said. The loss of permanent housing resources would significantly increase visible street homelessness in commercial corridors, downtown, neighborhoods, and business districts. When homelessness becomes more visible, that changes how people utilize our public spaces. shifting away from Housing First. Housing First is an evidence-based model for addressing homelessness that emphasizes permanent housing with supportive services. In Springfield, the Kitchen Inc. adopted Housing First in 2015 when it sold the Missouri Hotel, which was a transitional homeless shelter for more than 30 years. The Kitchen placed 130 residents in apartments and rental homes throughout the community and supported them with case management and other services as they worked towards independence. The Trump administration's new priorities for HUD funds will emphasize short-term interventions such as street outreach and transitional housing rather than housing first initiatives. To qualify, clients will have work requirements. There would be changes to the disability definition to include only physical and developmentally disabled disabilities. Mental illness and substance use disorder will no longer be considered a disability. The new plan will focus on involuntary commitments to institutions, substance use beds, and on-site substance use treatment, and possibly automatic disqualification for agencies that ever participated in harm reduction, according to information provided on Friday. Jack Rewald is a reporter at the Springfield Daily Citizen. She covers public safety, courts, homelessness, domestic violence, and other social issues. Her office line is 417-837-3659. More by Jackie Rewald.
New leader.
We are currently broadcasting live from the Blind Community Thrift Store, situated at 2713 North Kansas Expressway in Springfield, Missouri. For additional information about our store, please visit our website at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. To explore more of our video content, including movie reviews with Matt and Meredith, adaptive technology training videos, and other informative material, please visit our YouTube channel by searching for the Blind Community Thrift Store. Our organization is dedicated to supporting the blind community through various initiatives, and our online platforms serve as a valuable resource for community engagement and education. We are broadcasting live from the Blind Community Thrift Store in Springfield, Missouri, located at 2713 North Kansas Expressway. Find amazing deals Monday through Saturday from 9 to 6 p.m. Help the blind, help the community.
New leader takes Republic Administrator chair. Colton Harris says he'll leverage engineer education experience to lead growing city. A former City of Springfield Public Works official has been on the job as the City Administrator of Republic since December 8, 2025. Colton Harris, an engineer, previously served as Springfield's Superintendent of Streets, whether he oversaw 130 employees and administered a $16 million operating budget. By comparison, Republic employs 162, according to Lisa Addington, Chief of Staff and Human Resources Director, and the city's 2025 budget tallies $30.9 million in expenses. Harris replaced David Cameron, who was chosen as Springfield City Manager in May 2025 and began in that role in July. Harris works from a spacious corner office in the just opened Republic City Hall. Two big changes for a city in a serious growth mode. Springfield Business Journal list research from this month showed Republic was the fastest growing municipality in the region, with a 14% population change since the 2020 U.S. Census and a 2024 population of 21,392. The city's website projects a population of 27,600 in 2030 and 37,440. By comparison, old-timers in Republic may remember a whole different Burge in 1940 when the census counted only 700. Harris's engineering and public works background may lend a valuable perspective to help the city tackle its ongoing expansion. I don't think I'm a traditional candidate for city administrator, he said. However, he said his 14 years in municipal government have been good training. It's always been about improving quality of life and process and relationships with the community that I'm part of, he said. I derive a lot of purpose from being part of the community and trying to make quality of life better. And so I thought, what greater opportunity than city administrator? What an engineer brings to the table in systems thinking, what a focus of effective processes, Harris's wheelhouse. I tend to lean on my strengths, he said, given all the enthusiasm and excitement that's surrounding Republic right now. It happens to be a really good fit with my background in engineering and operations management, and a focus on infrastructure. Those things are really important for a developing community. In Springfield, Harris worked with state and federal agencies and offices and utility infrastructure. He also had 10 different work groups within his department and was often asked how he managed so much activity. It's the same answer I give in this role. There's a lot of really good supervisors and I focus on empowering them, he said. It takes a strong team. Asked to name the top concern expressed by Republic residents, Harris said, abilities come to mind in terms of cost, capacity, and service. That said, he added he believes the city has the capacity to handle the demands of development. Our executive team has proven that we can handle development of any size, he said. That's exciting. We have the professionals to get through whatever the processes may be, whether it's a big place like Amazon or a smaller mom and pop store. He added he wants Republic to grow, but it's important to him and everyone on the city staff that it grow the right way. The goal is to be able to find the way together and make sure that we accomplish that, he said. Harris said that there are a lot of unknowns in the jobs, but he added that reaching for the unknown is how people met their greatest potential. I'd be lying if I wasn't intimidating, he said. His top goal, he said, is to build relationships. Priority number 1 is staff, people working for me and with me, he said. Then, of course, I want to know our elected officials and the business community and whoever else. Relationships are really important. Macy Mitchell, Executive Director of the Republic Chamber of Commerce, said Harris was a guest at a recent meeting of the organization and was introduced to business leaders by Mayor Eric Franklin. Mitchell said he was suitably impressed after spending time getting to know Harris. He's transparent and he wants to hear from everyone and hear their needs, he said. He's very proactive and excited to get moving, and he understands the growth of Republic, not just the business community, but the community at large. He's up to the challenge. Mitchell said Harris is a great choice because of his experience with streets and infrastructure. I think those are some of the more important items we currently have as a city with the amount of growth that we have, he said. Infrastructure needs to follow and needs to already be in place, and I think he's got great abilities to see projects like that through. We're excited about that. Harris said in his first few weeks, he has learned on his direct reports, particularly Addington Community Development Director Karen Haynes and Chief Financial Officer Bob Ford. They've done a great job of onboarding me and introducing me to various ongoing projects, he said. He said as he went through the interview process, talking to the team got him more and more excited about the possibility of administrator role. People always say you're getting interviewed, but you're also interviewing them, he said. They kept convicting me how exciting this would be. I started out thinking it was probably a long shot, but ended up thinking, wow, I just really want to do this. Addington said Harris is fitting well in his role as he learns all there is to learn. He's drinking from a firehouse, she said. She praised Harris' thoughtful approach to his role. He's very analytical. He's a very analytical individual, and with some of the bigger projects we have going on, having that analytical mind has proven to be very beneficial for us, she said. He's going to be great. Ford said the city was running very well when Cameron was in the administrative role, and the administration team was effective during the time the role was vacant. We didn't miss a beat, he said. But Harris brought a different skill set, Ford said, and his value is already apparent. He fit right into that team model, and he's filling gaps that we couldn't fill, he said. Addington agreed. It really is the best case scenario, she said. We feel complete.
After loss to Sam Houston, Missouri State hopes to have injured guard Kobe Williams back soon. Its top-scoring guard and primary perimeter defender sidelined with a shoulder injury, Missouri State still put itself in a position to knock off one of the Conference USA better squads. But Sam Houston turned it on down the stretch on Wednesday at Great Southern Bank Arena, handing the Bears an 80-71 loss without the service of Kobe Williams. Williams looked on from the bench as the Bearcats, 14-7, 6-4, CUSA, turned a 65-64 edge with 5 minutes 36 remaining into a brief 11-point cushion. Part of a late 15-7 run highlighted by an emphatic dunk by freshman guard Jacob Walker, 16 points, that essentially signaled the game's end. A Missouri State 62-57 win at UTEP on January 24th, a game in which Williams, 14.2 points per game, had 21 points. The senior transfer from Truman State injured his shoulder fighting over the top of an illegal screen. He is listed as day-to-day, and the head coach Quanzo Martin said he could possibly return for Saturday's home contest against Jacksonville State, who's 11-9 and 6-3. Missouri State dropped to 14-7 and 6-4 in Conference USA, tied for fourth in the Big 12 team standing at the halfway point of conference play. I don't think we got into a real flow of rhythm, Martin said. We knew going into the game with Kobe being out, we talk about guards being shot ready, drive ready, and the impact it would have in defending, and I thought Keith and Mike did some solid things. But tonight, I thought it was what we did on the defensive side of the ball, Gordon Walker and Justin Begg on the perimeter. I thought as a freshman and sophomore, they did a good job of getting in the paint and making solid plays. Osei Bonsu, a senior forward, checked in with the game, high 22 points, and versatile wing Palick III had 17 points to go with 17 rebounds, putting the transfer from Division II California University, Pennsylvania, over 1,500 career points. Though Missouri State held the Bearcats to 4 of 13 from a three-point range, the Huntsville and Texas schools shot a solid 54.4% from the field, 31 for 57, including a 6 for 9 shown from big man Veljo Illick. The Bears, who went cold in the final minutes, saw their starting backcourt tandem of Saxton King and Trey Williams held to a combined 13 points. Sam Houston's bench outscored Missouri State 35-13. Missouri State, picked 12th in the preseason CUSA poll, has so far proven it's among the better teams in the league in its inaugural year after moving from the Missouri Valley Conference. The Bears had a net ranking of 277 entering conference play, which has since risen to 193. With 10 USA regular season games left, the Bears trailed first-place Liberty 17-3, 9-0, and they are slightly behind Jacksonville State, who's 11-9 and 6-3. Middle Tennessee is 11-8 and 5-3, and tied with Sam Houston, 14-7, 6-4. I know we've battled hard. We have 4 CSU losses, and we don't want to lose any games, Palick III said. We're above 500 and in a decent spot in the league right now, but our focus is the next one and getting a win on Saturday. Ryan Collinsworth covers college and high school sports in the Springfield metropolitan area for the Daily Citizen. Have a story, or idea, or gripe? Send an email to rcollingswood@sgfcitizen.org. Call or 417-837-3660 or follow Ryan on social media at x.com/rwcollingwood. More by Ryan Collinswood. So today is National Big Wig Day. It was observed the last Friday in January since 2016. The dates was January 26, 2024, January 31st of 2025, and today, January 30th of 2026. Founded by Pat Sharkey on January 2nd, 2016.
The Wheelhouse closes. The Wheelhouse, which relocated to downtown Springfield last year after a 2023 ownership change has closed. January 17th was the 307 South Jefferson Avenue restaurant's final service, according to a Facebook post. We hate to say goodbye, but it has become economically unsustainable to keep operating at this level. The post reads, "The team deserves stability, and that it is something we have struggled to."
Oh, darn. I'm sorry. Okay. Go back to your story.
Okay. No, that's not it. Where is it?
Okay, just click on it there, family. Just
Which one?
click on one up there.
Okay.
Just start a new one.
No, that's not it.
Just click on a new one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Business Spotlight, a driving force for community. Kirk's Collision Center celebrates 2 decades of services to the Republic area. Kirk's Collision Center owner and founder Kyle Kirk's passion for auto mechanics sparkled while working on a 1963 Willys truck with his father in junior high. For Kirk, that project instilled a sense of pride and fulfillment that doesn't exist in every industry. I've chased this feeling ever since. Back then, it was finishing a project, Kirk says. Now it is more about seeing our customers relieved to be back on the road and have some degree of normalcy put back into their lives. After receiving technical education at Nashville Auto Diesel College in 2004, Kirk began pursuing a career in collision repair. He returned to Missouri and opened Kirk's Collision Center to serve the Republic community. This is a job where you can take something that has been mangled, that the customer thinks you will never be the same, and you can turn it back and fix it, Kirk says. At the end of the day, you feel like you're actually accomplished something. And sitting behind a desk, you just don't get that. Kirk aimed to create a space that feels welcoming, not only in its outward appearance, but also as a positive reflection of the moral the staff embodies. Since becoming a business owner, Kirk says he prioritized his employees because he believes that helping others solve their problems begin with a solid foundation within the team. Many technicians at the shop have been in the industry for over 20 years. Collectively, the staff shares more than a century of experience. Our employee retention is a big part of what we do to build a big crew that stays together and works cohesively, says Kevin Thoreau, Chief Financial Chief Financial Officer at Kirk's Collision, and that's because...
Shoot, hang on. I don't know. There you go. Just hang on a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead, Meredith.
Says Kevin Thoreau, Chief Financial Officer at Kirk's Collision, and that's because of the way that they're treated. Kyle builds a business model that supports people and their families and keeps people around.
Let me... Put that back on. Put that back on for her. Click that. Do you know how to do it? Here. Yep, there you go.
Meeting Modern Challenger. We want to fix the car right for the customer, not the insurance company, Kirk says. Insurance companies serve a purpose, but they want to do it as cheaply as possible. Where we have the tools to go back and say, well, we really need to fix it in the right way, not the cheap way. As an independent repair shop, Kirk's Collision does not participate in a direct repair program in which independent automotive businesses partner with insurance companies to consolidate the claim process, allowing the repair shop that only meets standardized procedures, saving them time and paperwork, although it requires additional work. Although it requires additional work on their end, the team at Kirk's Collision wants to ensure everything is done thoroughly. To make matters easier for clients, their insurance providers, and the auto shop itself, Kirk's Collision actively working to become a certified original equipment manufacturer business. The certification enables it to perform repairs that meet factory standards on numerous vehicle makes and models without voiding warranties, while conveniently staying updated on the latest technologies, parts, and procedures.
Hold on for just a second. Okay, you do now.
In today's world, your customers are so much more cognizant of everything that's happening. So having those certifications is just another level of insurance to the customer, Thoreau says. With vehicles now and all the new technology that's on them, it's more important. The last 10 years have changed more than the previous 50 years of advancement, and we have to stay on top of all those procedures for every vehicle that comes in here so that it can be repaired properly and, more importantly, put together correctly. At Kirk's Collision, while it has taken years of investment to become General Motors and OEM certified, a key facet of obtaining those statues is maintaining quality equipment and standard technology. At the local level, some franchise dealerships have yet to invest the money, tools, and training to become GM certified, whereas Kirk's is staying one step ahead of the game. Kyle was approached not too terribly long ago by one of those big box stores about coming in and partnering with them or taking over for us, and they made the statement, "I just want to take this business to the next level," Thoreau says. Kyle looked at them and said, "Why can't we do that?" Throughout his first decade in business, Kirk often had to prioritize company finances, build a solid team, and lay the groundwork for future success. Now that the Collision Center has grown into what it is today, Kirk says he and his staff had numerous opportunities to give back to the community that supported him from the beginning. During the recent holiday season, Kirk's Collision ramped up small giveaways that provided families with essentials. In addition to sponsoring businesses that dispense free meals and maintaining partnerships with the Pregnancy Center, Ozarks Food Harvest Community Kitchen, and more, Kirk's Collision also organizes its own annual giveaways for local families. We're getting ready to give away our 6th car to a family here in Republic through People Helping People, Kirk says. We'll buy a wrecked car, fix it, and bring other community businesses together so we can provide pay insurance for a year, and new tires, a remote start, tinted windows, free oil changes for a year, and free tire rotations. We're giving somebody a whole packages because if they don't have a car, they can afford it, or insurance, we want to give them a leg up. What's most important to Kirk's Collision has been connecting community members with solutions while building a lasting relationships. Choose your shop wisely and do your research. We've done several re-repairs from the big box stores that couldn't get it right and finally gave up and said, "This is the best we could do," Thurrow says. If Kirk's floor mechanics or store management are dissatisfied with the extent of a repair, he said that they remain up front with customers to deliver quality work that means high standards. Most people aren't excited to come in here, Kirk says. The amount of people who come up with a smile on their face because they know where they're coming makes us feel pretty good, because they know this stressful situation is about ready to be taken care of.
Speedy Willard guard Elise Murray enjoying final hoop season before taking her sprinting talent to Drury. Murray has scored more than 1,000 career points for the Tigers and is aiming for more state sprinting medals this spring. This is by Andy Carroll. This Athlete of the Week profile is made possibly by our healthcare sponsor, Mercy, construction sponsor, Nesbitt Construction, and Daily Citizen Athlete of the Year scholarship sponsors, Absolute Dental and Dumpsters, 417.com. Elise Murray was a freshman guard at Willard when her quickness caught the eye of Gerald Davis, Missouri State single-season rushing touchdown record holder, who was then a teacher and a coach at Willard, and he insisted Elise come out for track. She obliged, a decision that would ultimately change the trajectory of her athletic future. "He's basically forced me to do it," said Murray, now a 4-year starter and all Central Ozark Conference hoops talent. "I was all basketball focused. I would go to workouts every single day after school for the fall season until basketball started. I wasn't really expecting to do anything else other than play basketball, but Davis saw my potential with that, and he had me run." 3 years later, Murray has established herself as one of the fastest sprinters in the region and recently signed a letter of intent to run collegiately at Drury. Murray reached the state championship meet last season in multiple events and looks to both return and break the 12-second mark in a 100-meter dash. She had personal best time of 12.03 in the 100 and 25.64 in the 200 last year, and anchored a 4x1 relay team that placed fourth at state with a school record time of 47.73. She's planning to run hurdles for the first time this spring. Before I moved to NCAA Division II school in Springfield, Elise is savoring her final lap on the hardwood and reached 1,000 career points in Willard's 58-54 win over Ozarks on January 8th. It was probably the most boring shot you could ever do it on, Murray said. I went up for a layup and they fouled me and I hit a free throw. Quick feet carry Murray's offense attack, but Tigers head coach Luke Floyd said her relentless style stands out most on the other end of the court. Her motor, she's just a defensive pest. You know, we talked the other day to the girls about being a dog on the floor, and I mean that in the highest of compliments, and Elise is just a dog, Floyd said. Whatever it is you need to win, she's going to go out and do it. She has great floor vision, so she's not only going to create shots for herself, but for teammates and get them going. She drives opposing offenses nuts. She does a very good job at that. Willard, 7-8, hosts Smith Cotton on Thursday night, and the Tigers are a close group poised for a strong finish. Our record doesn't necessarily show it, but chemistry is really good, Floyd said. The girls are playing hard, and we're seeing lots of really good things. So we have 11 games left. We have a lot we can accomplish still, and I think it's going to be a pretty special season. This is by far the best team I've ever played for at Willard, and we just all love each other so much this year, and I think that really shows on the floor, Murray said. How we move the ball around the floor, and we get so many shots up because we just continuously move. We see each other open, and I just feel like we have so much chemistry this year. I really love it. With the finish line of her basketball career in sight, Murray plans to soak it all in. I'll be taking in every single moment I can on the floor, she said. Andy Carroll. Andy is a freelance reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen and is currently covers the Springfield Cardinals and St. Louis Battlehawks for Scoops with Danny Mack. Previously, he contributed to the Springfield News-Leader's coverage of Missouri State athletics, and high school sports in the Ozarks.
Tower Beauty Spa opens in Hammond's Tower. Offering nail and esthetician services, the Tower Beauty Spa opened December 4th in the Hammond's Tower building at 901 East St. Louis Street. Todd Hart, co-owner of Newland Construction Group, LLC, knows he's not the first person to come to mind when picturing the owner of a spa. One of the wives wanted to open a spa and a nail salon, and we thought that it would be a good investment, he said, referring to the spouse of someone from his company. That was McKenna Hart, Todd's sister-in-law, now the manager and sole employee of the new business. She's working on hiring a nail tech to join her. McKenna is married to Todd's brother, Joe Hart, who also works at Newland Construction. Todd Hart said his company does a lot of construction work for the tower, where the spa is located on the ground floor. We have a good relationship with the owners, and we saw some spaces open, he said. The location was strategically promising, he noted. We knew that there weren't a lot of nail salons around campus, and we thought we could take advantage of the location by appealing to campus, appealing to business professionals in the tower and the Kutak building, he said, referring to the office building at 300 South John Q. Hammonds Parkway. Also, there's a University Plaza hotel right there, and we've been reaching out to try to partner with them for deals for any guests who might want to use our services. In short, Hart said, They're attempting to reach out to busy people who might appreciate something convenient and close by. The opening was a quiet one, according to Hart. It's been more of a soft opening, trying to get the space tuned up and dialed in, he said. This month, we'll start pushing to get the news out. Infill cost was about $22,000 for the space that Hart estimates to be 750 to 800 square feet. Rent is about $1,100 per month, he said. The space has a reception area where guests can enjoy complimentary coffee and water while they wait for service. There are 2 nail chairs and 2 pedicure chairs, and there's also a room for esthetician services, such as facials and waxing. McKenna Hart stands ready to offer spa facials that she says are customized for each client. Everyone's skin is different, with different skin types and different skin concerns, she said. I want to make sure our services are as customized as possible. The spa offers Glymed Plus brand chemical peels, right for aging or textured skin, acne or hyperpigmentation, she said. I don't want to make anyone feel like they have to fix anything, she said. If it helps them feel comfortable in their own skin, there's a service for them. Among other services are lash lifts and tint brow lamination and tint and dermaplane facials, which she describes as similar to a medical grade scalpel to eliminate peach fuzz and provide light exfoliation. McKenna Hart says she is excited to be in the new space and is still surprising that a comment about wanting a spa manifested the way that it did. I definitely didn't think it would ever turn into me managing a spa, she said. I'm very grateful for all the help I've had and how it's turned so far. Piano Craft moves to a new location off of Republic Road. This is by Gregory Holman, Deputy Editor. Despite a big store closing billboard near Piano Craft store location at 1675 East Seminole Street, the company isn't shutting down its business, it's moving. Shelley Wilson Murdaugh, who co-owns the company with her husband, Greg Murdaugh, confirmed this morning that Piano Craft hopes to be moved into its new location at 4240 South Fremont Avenue around January 31st. Many company functions already moved, she said, including warehouse operations. Jim Hearn, Piano Craft Executive Vice President, said that the company has been preparing for the shift for a few months by holding a liquidation sale. These stores are going to close, Hearn said this morning, and we have publicly proclaimed through all social media that Piano Craft is not going out of business. We're moving to a better location, and we do not want to have to move the current floor inventory so it's on sale or to be liquidated. Piano Craft employs roughly 6 staffers, Hearn said, and that's not expected to change with the move. Hearn said Piano Craft has spent a good chunk of money on building out the new 5,000 square foot Fremont Avenue facility, declining to disclose specifics. We are very, very fortunate in that building is simply store functional building. We have some wasted space where we are at, Hearn said. Like at this point, our logistics vehicles have been subject to some vandalism, so the new location actually has garage doors and just a phenomenal space for our workshop and things like that. Hearn added that the current location of Piano Craft is kind of a block off the beaten paths relative to nearby Glenstone Avenue. The city has also shifted, Hearn said. We are finding a lot more of our client base out toward that Republic Road and Fremont area. We are right on Fremont, and you can see us from the cross street of Republic Road. So we think we are actually going to have better exposure there. I think that is probably the main thing. Also, having a more functional facility, there is also a good move. Hearn said Piano Craft's business needed a better space to accommodate the three main facets of its business: sales of pianos, ongoing customer service, tasks like piano cleaning and piano tuning, and logistic service to help piano owners move their musical instruments when it comes time to move or downsize homes. Showroom and workshop spaces at the new Piano Craft will be similar in size to the ones at the location on Seminole Street that the company plans to exit, Hearn said. Hearn said he did not have an immediately accessible figure for Piano Craft's 2025 revenues. I believe it was a tad, but less simply because of all the tariff baloney that came up. He said, adding, I just know that the company is very, very blessed and very, very stable. Hearn said he owned a piano store in Battlefield Mall from 1980 to 2000. Before merging with Piano Craft, he counts Greg Murdaugh as a friend of some 45 years. Hearn said that in his view, Piano Craft is the new only real piano store within almost a 2,000-mile radius. We have techs that go out all over southwest Missouri. Their mantra, he said, is doing everything in excellence. We do nothing that we would ever have to look over our shoulder after do it, Hearn said.
Library increases staffing and security following radio station scrutiny of ICE response session. The Springfield Greene County Library District will increase safety and security measures for a Saturday, January 31st event about responding to heightened immigration enforcement efforts in the wake of a social media post and segments that aired on the Springfield radio station. The Southern Missouri Immigration Alliance has planned a rapid response training event for Saturday at the Schweitzer Brentwood Branch Library. They say the session is about spotting and sharing information about the activity of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Officials with the group say the session will focus on observation, not interference, and has been planned in response to escalated arrest tactics that federal authorities have used across the country as part of an immigration crackdown. News of the training session was shared on KSGF-FM's Facebook page with an image connecting the event to local businesses. There is a rapid response ICE training scheduled at the taxpayers-funded Schweitzer Brentwood Library in Springfield on Saturday, the Post read. It was first posted at 8:22 a.m. January 28th, and as of 10 a.m. January 30th, had generated more than 1,000 comments and been shared 127 times. Since that Facebook post and segments about the event, the business and the Springfield Greene County Library District say they have fielded a high number of calls, some of which have been inflammatory. The radio station Facebook post contained a screenshot from Culture Flock, a retail store in Springfield that shared information about the event. We have no idea why a screenshot of our business Instagram was used in KSGF's post, the company said in statement. We simply reshared information regarding an event organized by Southern Missouri Immigration Alliance. Nick Reed, program director of KSGF, said that the station shared Culture Flock's post because it was the first source of information they saw about the session. In addition to the post, the topic was discussed on air during separate broadcasts on Wednesday and Thursday. At one point in Wednesday's broadcast, Reed questioned whether the event organizers would be encouraging participants to hit ICE officers with their vehicles. The majority of the discussion that was recorded and posted online focused on whether it was appropriate for a publicly funded building to be a site of a meeting for individuals who could be planning to impede law enforcement. Reed told the Daily Citizen the topic's inclusion in the show was intended to be a thought discussion about whether such an event should be allowed inside a public building. The discussion was about if it is proper to allow an organization to utilize a taxpayer-funded facility that could be about training people on how to prevent law enforcement from doing their jobs, Reed said. It wasn't so much about a question as to whether it was a breach of the policy itself, just is that something that the community feels is a good idea. Laura, a member of the Southern Missouri Immigration Alliance, who declined to give her last name due to personal safety concerns, said the station's segments about the session included inflammatory language. The radio station did not contact the group for a response or more information about the event, she said. The extra attention on the event caused the Alliance to ensure that its events within the library's guidelines. We reached out to the library, who affirmed that it's a public facility and that we are within our rights to use it following their code of conduct, Laura said. People unhappy with the event have also been contacting the library, and at the library's own instigation, they have contacted a security guard to be present. Vicki Hicks, Community Relations Director for the library, said that extra staff and a security officer will be on hand to assist with crowd control if needed. Hicks said the library is not a sponsor or organization of the event and that the group is using a community room in accordance with library rules. The library's 10 branches across the city and county offer several rooms of varying sizes that can be used for community events of all sorts. That group is using our room as per the room reservation policy, Hicks said. Our meeting rooms are made available to a wide range of community groups in accordance with our meeting and event space policy, which you can view on our website. And the library does not review, approve, or promote the content or viewpoints of meetings held in these spaces. For example, that policy was applied to an event in 2024 attended by Valentina Gomez, then a Republican candidate for Secretary of State. Gomez appeared in campaign video using a flamethrower to burn books that she claimed were from a Missouri library, and the video was posted about a week after her attendance. Reed confirmed that the station did not reach out to the Alliance for more information before talking about the training session on air. He said the station's coverage included responses Thursday to those who felt his comments were inflammatory. We did a follow-up Thursday, talking further about it because I knew some of these complaints existed, Reed said. Some of it was about trying to go through and clarify, be more specific about what the conversation was about. He said there were no plans to make clarifications to the station's Facebook page. The coverage wasn't intended to be inflammatory, he said, but to provoke discussion of an important topic. A lot of what to do, which unfortunately is becoming less common and acceptable, is to talk about things that people have very stark disagreements over and going into details and nuances, Reed said. I enjoy doing that. My hope is that it's engaging for people. The purpose is not to inflame on anger, but oftentimes things that are going on in our world that people are interested in or find engaging are controversial. Increased federal enforcement makes topics particularly heated. Immigration has become a heated topic over the last year as the Trump administration has authorized the use of escalated enforcement efforts and reduced previously established immigration pathways. The tactics have become increasingly scrutinized after the recent deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, killed by immigration enforcement officers in Minneapolis. Some protesters also have been charged with assaulting federal officers and impeding immigration enforcement. In Minneapolis and other cities, groups of volunteers supporting immigrants have organized networks of informants who track the movements of authorities. In some cases, they have formed crowds at the site of an action, used noisemakers, and shouted legal advice. The Southern Missouri Immigration Alliance focuses on issues of immigrant justice and supports immigrants' communities. It supported a recent student-led walkout at Central High School with its own across-the-street demonstration. The Alliance emphasized that its program is about observation of ICE enforcement actions and not interference. According to its website, the session is about learning tools and information in order to stand in solidarity with immigrants in the community. Reporters note, this report has been edited to correct the title. Joe Hadsall is the education reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen. Hadsall has more than 2 decades of experience reporting in the Ozarks with Joplin Globe, Christian County Headliner, News, and 417 Magazine. Contact him at 417-837-3671 or jhadsall@sgfcitizen.org.
Roundtree Eatery Scully's announces coming to closure. Hints at new venture in same spot. The Roundtree Eatery Scully's has announced its pending closure in a post on social media. The last day of service for the restaurant, located in the Pickwick Avenue and Cherry Street commercial hub, is scheduled for February 6th, the post states. After almost 10 years of doing this dang thing, we're finally hanging up our ramen ladle. The post on Facebook states, to all of our loyal customers over the last decade, we can't thank you enough. You gave us a reason to come in every day, cook pork bones for 22 hours, and slosh around noodle water with a smile, and sometimes with a grimace on our faces. Your support built this place. The post, which went up just after midnight, January 14th, adds that the owners are working on a new venture in the same location. If all goes well, you'll be seeing something brand new for us around March, the post states. We'll also be doing the occasional pop-up here and there. The post thanks employees past and present for creating something special. We'll always be proud of what we did together, it says. The post does not explain why the restaurant is closing. There are a lot of reasons behind this decision, but we're choosing not to dwell on them, it says. Instead, we're focusing forward. In Springfield Business Journal, reporting in 2021, Scully's owners, the wife and husband team of Laura and Joe Still, responded to an internet controversy about the shop's display of a pride flag a customer left, a voicemail criticizing the restaurant's support of a position she deemed woke, and Scully's posted the call on Instagram. Laura Still took the criticism in stride. We realized early on that the general public will have a lot of opinions about everything you do as a business, she says in an interview. When we know we are giving it our honest effort, criticism just holds less validity to us. She added that Scully's welcomes all customers, but she emphasized that customers have a choice in where they do business. If you cannot be around anyone that has a different opinion than you, we may not be the restaurant for you, she said. In response to the criticism, customers rallied around Scully's, with one online group hosting its first in-person meetup at the site. Scully's is registered by the Missouri Secretary of State's office under Umami LLC, formed in October 2016 by owners Joseph, Laura, and Rebecca Still. Scully's has 5,500 followers on Facebook, many of them walking to the news of the planned closure. By 10 a.m., 31 of them have already weighed in with a comment. Multiple posters said that they would miss the venue, and one user, Jesse Honeycutt, posted simply, "Thanks for all the yums."
Thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio service. Tune in every week, Monday to Friday, on the Blind Community Thrift Store YouTube channel at 10 a.m. for more up-to-date news from the Springfield News-Leader, Springfield Daily Citizen, Springfield Business Journal, and 417 Magazine. Listen after we are live on the audio reader network at www.reader.ku.edu. All broadcasts are played over KMSU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed